Hola, and welcome back to Vampire Therapist. We are currently in our very first session with Dr. Durain, who has an addiction to synthetic blood that he made himself. So, let's head right into it.
Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc. Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to. Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace. Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre.
Compadre.
Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically speaking, I am in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem. Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling. I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little. But you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years.
Exactly.
You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this. Well, who said you should have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work. And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all.
Oh no!
Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is. Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death. So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself. Please, I'm a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc? That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
I'm not sure if it's Nosferatu thinking or labeling.
That's a pretty dark read on things. You know, lots of folks get over their addictions. Yes, but not me.
Why not?
I'm trying to tell you that even if you are addicted, that ain't the end, hermano. You got a lot of life and opportunity left in you. If you can call this life. Now hold on there, that's what I call Nosferatu thinking, straight from the coffin. Life ain't all black and white. It's got its shades of gray too, you know. Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I'm being a little dramatic.
He uses the terms.
Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point. But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy.
Good boy. Such a good boy.
That ain't my department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug. Well, so what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive. Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else. Someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed. You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself.
So you don't sleep. Let's talk about your sleeping habits.
Oh wait just a gosh darn minute. You're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and I have work to do. So you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
Oops.
Depression is the only sensible reaction. He makes the goths downstairs seem almost joyous in their perspectives, doesn't he?
Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
I'm not sure. You're a sapient individual aware of the world around you. Depression is...
Depression is the only sensible reaction. He makes the goths downstairs seem almost joyous in their perspectives.
Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep. Come on now, it's a big world out there, and different things are depressing to different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed? Very well, I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed. Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard. Now why'd you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am? Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label. Oh, very well, call it moaning or whinging if you prefer. Moaning, whinging, bellyaching, still all just labels. I don't believe I shall be using the term bellyaching in any case. But as I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like. So you're telling me you feel good when you wake up, and then you call yourself an ignoramus. Before you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting yourself. That's what I like to call disqualifying the positive. I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument. What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster. Lest I somehow forget that you are a cowboy. About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need and it makes you feel good. What's the problem? First of all, I do not need to rest. And partaking of this plasma does have downsides. What kind of downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex.
Oh no!
Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful. I guess you must be having some kind of good time. That is not my idea of a good time. I'm Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood. It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things. Well, I should be better at it. You know, Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you. You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself.
Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults.
I'm being serious. I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts?
I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years.
It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you. You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff.
Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all.
Is that actually gonna happen, though?
It might.
You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you?
I was thinking about it.
All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking.
I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind.
You can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am.
Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect. I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you. I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Yeah, let's get some.
Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already. I sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam, how you doing tonight, partner?
How she daps it.
Better already, hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more, polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Oh, maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh, yeah? How do you think it went?
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end. You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive, kapow.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
You ain't kidding. Living or dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
I'm gonna do the gentlemanly thing and not hazard a guess.
You would have gotten it wrong anyway. I'm 50 years young.
Oh, wow.
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you. I've been 30 for a good while now.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood.
Oh.
Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Alrighto.
There he is, my incredible protege.
Yes, but first. Dr. Drain is addicted to a plasma that makes him black out and do things he dislikes doing. He likes a logical approach, he doesn't sleep, irritable, maybe because he's not sleeping, love, should statements, and maybe a fair amount of disqualifying the positive, obsessed with work, doesn't seem to like vampires. Next time, I should figure out what the heck this plasma stuff actually does. Interesting. Just for riding my ramblings. Oh, it's kind of fitting. Well, no. When it comes out, it kind of. Okay, no, it's out. Okay, never mind. It's a month away. Okay. Ain't nothing more to read.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Disqualifying the positive.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive?
Ah, gotcha.
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight. Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult.
Boss fight.
Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella Deste. Dang, she's got some funny tasting hats.
Renaissance, okay. Isabel d'Este was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and unlife have both been meaningless. Suggest be exceedingly polite. Okay.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Okay.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone, but I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel. Oh, and do be polite.
Goodness. So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
Sam Walls at your service, ma'am.
You are a therapist.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Senora.
Oh god. Which one is the best? Signora, Signora. I think this sounds...
All right, Senora.
You have seen my what? Have you been peeking under my skirts, young
What?
man?
Huh? What are you talking about, lady?
Signora. Say it.
Signora.
Signora. Signora.
Signora!
Signora?
Porca miseria, this is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Senora.
So, therapy is always easy then?
Huh?
I said it ain't never easy, Senora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Senora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
I'm just here to help, Senora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
Are we having a deja vu? Like this also 400 years? This sounds like Dr. Drain.
So what set off this feeling that you're a corpse?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Hey, I love the cinema. Hot dang, them actors can really light up the screen sometimes.
That is not the way I would have phrased that.
I'll admit, I'm pretty into the celebrity gossip scene. Who's hooking up with who's making waves. I can't get enough of it.
That was not what I was going for when I said over the actors. I was going for, yeah, let's talk about the actors and the way... Yeah, okay, I know how this went that way.
A foolish obsession. One must appreciate art, not the artist.
Yes.
If common mortals knew what Caravaggio had done in his free time, they would burn every one of his paintings.
They'd have to know who Caravaggio is first.
Oh? Do you know who Caravaggio is?
Maybe let's get back to talking about what it was you saw at the cinema.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
Oh boy.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible. And the audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind. I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Purpose.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
Space Wars.
Well, wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art. But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want. You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am.
For such a complicated woman, the answer...
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Huh?
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
You see,
No, they're not.
I understand now.
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white, you're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Signora Deste believes she can elevate all art, it seems. A lot of responsibility for one woman.
Once,
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
but I could once upon a time.
You can't reach everybody, Signora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Ah.
Oh, come on now. Just because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for. I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's efforts to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose, but does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
Or maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Heck, that's what I am, Senora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
You're saying you should walk into the sun. Well, why should you?
Because clearly my work has had no purpose.
All right, let's go ahead and say that's true. Why should you walk into the sun?
No one listens. No one cares. They lie about virtue and honor, truth and beauty. I have failed to make them listen. So what has my purpose been?
So is burning up supposed to be your purpose then? You ain't a cigarette.
You are being too literal.
So you're not supposed to burn up after all. That's what I'm hearing.
Your rhetoric is beastly. Cicero would weep.
Good thing he ain't here then, huh?
You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman.
Look, Senora,
sorry.
all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're going to be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
What happened when you were 16?
I got married.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment. He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all. Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition. This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
And we are making a little cut here. And saving. And we will see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.